pain.
Welcome to the first of 5 videos where we will be unlocking the Platinum Trophy in every Uncharted game. Starting with Uncharted Drakes Fortune. There are 54 trophies to unlock, multiple playthroughs, 61 collectibles, tons of combat trophies, 4 speedrun related trophies, and we are also going for the Charted Trophy, which requires us to beat the game on the hardest difficulty, Brutal.
No! No!
In Uncharted, we play Nathan Drake, a self-proclaimed descendant of Sir Francis Drake, who was an explorer in the 1500s. Ever since Nathan was a young boy, he has been carrying Sir Francis Drake's ring around his neck. One day he discovers that coordinates are inscribed on the inside of the ring, and they lead to a location in Panama. This is where Uncharted Drakes Fortune's story starts.
Coast of Panama, where we just recovered what we believe to be the coffin of legendary explorer Sir Francis Drake.
Nathan is accompanied by Elena Fisher, a reporter who agreed to fund Nate's expedition so long as she can film the whole thing for her show. The two of them recover Sir Francis Drake's coffin. However, inside, all there is a lockbox with his diary, which points to a supposed lost city of El Dorado.
You devil.
Out of nowhere, pirates attack the boat, but luckily Nathan's surrogate dad, Sully, saves us in his sweet boat plane.
I can't leave you alone for a minute, can I?
Nate then tells Sully about the coordinates in the diary, and they agree to ditch Elena and search for the lost city. Here is where we start our collectible hunt by grabbing the first of 61 trophies. First treasure of 60. And in total there are 8 trophies tied to the collectibles throughout the game. After some parkour, puzzles and explosions, of which there are lots of in this game, Nate and Sully discover El Dorado wasn't actually a city of gold, but instead it is a golden statue, and the Spanish must have taken it from the temple at some point in time. So Nate and Sully follow the path that the Spanish left behind and discover a grounded U-boat. Nate climbs aboard and finds that the German captain came across a map with the supposed location of the missing treasure. Now we just have to safely get off the ship and back to Sully. Outside of the ship, we are greeted by Gabriel Roman and his pal Navarro. We learn that Sully owes Gabs over here a lot of money, and to make sure this doesn't happen again, Roman shoots Sully, and very timely, the U-boat explodes. Nate takes this moment to run for his life and stumbles straight into Elena, who it turns out had been following us this entire time.
That's for leaving me at the dock.
Time to shoot our way to the car that Elena hid nearby, and then back onto Sully's plane to take us to El Dorado. But of course this is a video game, so the plane gets blown out of the sky. Now separated from Elena and the map, we need to find where the wrecked plane landed. But to make things a little bit better, whilst tracking through the jungle, we pick up treasure number 10 and unlock the Novice Fortune Hunter trophy. Hey, novice, not novice, I've got 10 treasures. And a little while later, we unlock the Headshot Expert trophy for getting 5 headshots in a row, and also kill 50 people with the PM 9mm, which gets us another trophy. We then continue shooting, climbing, and also blow up a car with a conveniently placed red barrel, until we eventually find the plane, and thankfully the map has not blown away. From here we also catch a glimpse of Elena's parachute, which seems to have landed in an old fortress along the way. After a brief murder spree, we eventually arrive at the fortress. Now here's where we can unlock the first of 3 mission-based speedrun trophies. This one involves completing chapter 5 in under 8 minutes, which I completely forgot to do, so we'll have to come back here later. But what I didn't forget was to pick up the bonus treasure, the Strange Relic, which unlocks the Relic Finder trophy. I actually didn't know what this was at first, but it turns out it's the orbs from Jak and Daxter, and I now realize that Naughty Dog made Jak and Daxter one of the greatest games of all time. Why have you not got a remake of that yet? What the hell? We also unlock the Intermediate Fortune Hunter trophy for collecting 20 treasures. Eventually we find Elena, but she's about to be shot by Navarro's men, so we stop them and get caught in the process. Now trapped in a prison, Elena finds us and tells us that she knows exactly how to break us out of here. But before she can do that, we're introduced to Eddie Raja.
Hey, Drake.
Eddie Raja. I should have guessed.
Eddie is a mercenary working with the other two idiots, but he wants Nate to take him to the gold so he can keep it for himself. Obviously, Nate's not going to agree to do that, and then very timely, Elena destroys the wall behind us. Side note, Elena is awesome so far.
Thank you. Hey!
We're then treated to a super fun car chase scene, which will definitely not come back to ruin my life in a later playthrough. Oh, I'm here. Before this is impossible, bro. Elena then tries to throw us off a cliff and fails, so Nate gives her a helping hand. Thankfully, that was enough to escape Eddie's goons, allowing Nate and Elena a moment to breathe and figure out a plan to get to the nearby harbour. This plan starts with riding a jet ski to the other side of the sunken city. Now, there's a handful of moments where we use the jet ski in this game, and honestly, none of them are fun. I hate every single one of them. Nate and Elena figure out that the only way to the harbour is through the customs house. So Nate finds a way around, and along the way we earn the 50 kills with an AK-47 trophy and collect our 30th treasure for the Proficient Fortune Hunter trophy. 30, nice, 30 out of 60, halfway there. Elena then tells Nate she wants to stay behind and get some footage, so Nate makes his way to a boat on the other side of the harbour. Moments before Nate can secure the boat, Elena appears and shows us footage of a very much alive Sully.
He's alive.
So with the boat now gone, we make a plan to save Sully, who we think has been taken to a monastery further in the city. And along the way we cross a very rickety rope bridge where Elena slips and drops her camera. So it's now time for my favourite part of the game, that sarcasm. I hate this part. We're about to ride this jet ski all the way up to the monastery, only this time Elena has swapped her grenade launcher for a freaking pistol. There's a room in hell for the person that decided that this was a fun level in a video game. On this chapter there's also another speedrun trophy for completing it in under 5 minutes, which I did attempt but failed miserably, so we will be coming back here later. But once we make it through that hellish nightmare, we're greeted by Navarro's more tactical men and pick up the 40th treasure to unlock the Professional Fortune Hunter trophy. 40, nice, almost there, 20 more. We then arrive at the monastery where at first glance it looks like Sullivan is helping them find the treasure. Of course Navarro's men spots us, and so we murder every one of them, but hey, we also unlock the Brutal Slugger trophy for killing 20 enemies with the Brutal combo. Hey, Brutal Slugger, what is that for? You know, Batman doesn't kill people, but Nathan Drake definitely does. Nate and Elena question Sully on how he's alive and why he's helping the goons. But it turns out Drake's notebook took the bullet for him, and has convinced them not to kill him and has been leading them astray ever since. Sully has, however, discovered a clue that will lead us to the treasure. So he solves some puzzles, climbs some stuff, unlocked the very annoying Brutal Expert trophy for performing 5 brutal combos in a row. Yeah, Brutal Expert. And also find the 50th treasure to unlock the Expert Fortune Hunter trophy. Yay, 50, 10 more. And sometime later we shoot up a graveyard and find ourselves in an old mausoleum containing a secret entrance to a vault. We solve a puzzle which opens a secret door, and Nate and Elena climb through and the door slams shut, leaving Sully on the other side. So we push on and discover a giant puzzle vault room which is hiding the treasure of El Dorado. This is also the 3rd chapter in the game that has a speedrun tied to it. This time we need to complete it in under 12 minutes. Sounds simple, right? Well, let me introduce you to the Chandeliers of Fire and Instant Death. Seriously, these are the most dangerous enemies in the entire game. Thankfully, once you make it through the instant death chandeliers, the rest of the level is quite simple unless you're playing on the hardest difficulty. Right, here we go. Is everyone ready for the worst section in this freaking game? As we keep heading forward, we run into Eddie's goons, and yes, they also somehow found their way into this super secret vault room. Remember kids, explosives are just as good as being smart. Whilst making our escape, I also managed to pop the triple dynamite trophy for killing 3 enemies with 1 explosion. And then Nate and Elena wind up coming across none other than Sir Francis Drake's body. And Nate leaves his ring behind because he believes that Sir Francis Drake wasted his life searching for the treasure.
Wasted his life. For nothing.
I'm basically a big loser.
Nate then helps Elena up to a broken ladder so that she can lower a rope over to us. And then Eddie appears, but he's not there to kill us.
Easy, Eddie, easy.
So this is when Uncharted basically becomes a horror game, by the way. You see, Eddie has been complaining the whole game about something killing his men, and it turns out he wasn't lying. Honestly, if they remake this game, this section is going to be absolutely horrific. Like, genuinely, these creatures are quite terrifying as is. Nate and Eddie fend off as many as possible, but unfortunately, Eddie has a massive ego.
Don't mess with Eddie Raja!
With Eddie's death, Drake is left alone to fend for himself, but the good news is we popped the Run and Gunner trophy, and we also killed 50 enemies with the FS 9mm. See, now Eddie's death wasn't exactly for nothing. Right? A clueless Elena eventually lowers the rope, allowing Nate up, and then both of them make their escape.
What the hell were those things?
Nate and Elena now find themselves in an abandoned Nazi facility, and a map reveals that the treasure was actually underneath the church in the flooded city this entire time. Now Nate has to do some sweet parkour and go through yet another horrifying experience in order to turn the power back on and allow us to get out of here. Along the way, Nate finds a letter left by Sir Francis Drake, detailing that he was the one that drowned the city and stopped the Spanish from taking the treasure off of the island because the treasure is cursed and it is the cause of the monsters that we've been fending off. I bet Nate feels real dumb for leaving that ring behind now. We eventually make it back to Elena, but she has a bunch of company in the shape of generic bad guys. So now Nate needs to save Elena and prevent the treasure from leaving the island. We eventually make it topside and pick up the penultimate treasure, and then make our way over to Sully, who's been pinned down outside the church. After rescuing Sully, we shoot up the church and push a giant, very light concrete table and reveal a secret catacombs leading to the treasure's final resting spot. But before we get there, we find the final treasure piece and unlock the Master Fortune Hunter trophy. That should be everything. Oh, thank God. And here it is, the treasure of El Dorado. With everyone finally gathered, we all have a lovely chit-chat after chasing each other for what has been probably days, and Navarro convinces Gabriel Roman that the real treasure is inside the gold casing.
Watch this.
With one generic bad guy down, Navarro makes his escape with Elena and the treasure, but he's unaware that we are the hero of this story and Nate leaps onto the treasure moments before they can flee with it. This section's really cool, but I don't understand how Sully is supposed to get out of this golem-infested pit alive, like he's just left there. That man is dead. Nevertheless, we arrived at the final chapter of the game, and also the last speedrun trophy, which of course, I failed miserably at. I've never claimed to be good at trophy hunting, I just like doing it. This is the wrong channel if you want someone good at it. But once we make it through the boat, we have our final stand with Navarro, ending in a death that I hope I never experience.
Adios, asshole.
With Navarro's death and the treasure safely at the bottom of the ocean, we spot a somehow alive Sully arriving off in the distance. And Elena takes this moment to give Nate his ring back that he thought he left behind back in the treasure room.
Got us a boat?
We already have a boat.
Yeah, big boat.
I like this one better.
Sully, you beautiful son of a bitch!
So here's where I messed up. You see, I originally wanted to combine 3 trophies together. The first being the Crushing Difficulty trophy, the second being the Fat and the Furious trophy, and the third is the Need for Speed trophy. Problem is, I thought you unlocked the Donut Drake costume by just completing the game on the easy difficulty. But it turns out you have to beat it on Crushing Difficulty to unlock it. Which is fine, I wanted to play for the game anyway, I just didn't realize I would be playing through it 4 times. I thought it would be 3. Don't be like me, kids. Read the manual before you build the furniture. Now, before we start our crushing playthrough, I made myself feel a little bit better by unlocking the Cosplay trophy, the Cheetah trophy, and the Shoot Some B-roll for Elena trophies. This did not make me feel better, but at least there's 3 less trophies now. It's now time for our crushing difficulty playthrough. So in all honesty, crushing difficulty is not that bad. There's a bunch of tricks you can use to make certain moments easier, and there's lots of spots you can use to cheese enemies. The good news is during this playthrough I unlocked a bunch of combat trophies, such as getting 30 kills with the M79, 20 kills with the West 44, and hit 250 headshots.
Nice!
Now yes, crushing difficulty isn't too bad overall, but there are some areas that will be haunting my dreams in the near future. The first being the seemingly never-ending jet ski water park ride. You know, someday I really want a jet ski. That dream is crushed for me now. The second area is the moment that Eddie's men invade the treasure room on chapter 16.
Really?
There was a moment during this where I was so close to just completely giving up. Eventually we make it through this section, kill 50 golem men with the Moss 12,
Hey, nice!
and then 30 of them with the MP 40.
Nice, thank God we're taking off these ones.
And then we arrive at the next painful section, leaving the World War II bunker.
Really? That's ridiculous.
So as you're leaving the underground bunker, Navarro's men and the Golem boys are all out to get you. And on crushing difficulty, that basically means if they touch you, you die. Over,
Oh,
and over,
oh,
and over,
why am I doing that?
and over again.
Wow. He was doing so well.
But thankfully, here is where we unlock the Supernatural Born Killer trophy to make things a little bit better.
Hey. That's why I haven't got it. I was one away.
Spoiler, it didn't make anything better, because the next section involves a courtyard and a church filled with unbelievably accurate men with very large guns. We don't unlock any trophies here. Just pain and sadness. I think I cried myself to sleep that night. But eventually we make it onto the last chapter, where I discover my new favourite ability, wall clipping. Now, if you've made it this far into the video, you've probably realized I suck at trophy hunting. So if the game is giving me a handout, I am going to grab it and hold on to it as tight as I possibly can. Wall clipping basically involves grinding up on a wall like you're Nicki Minaj and spamming the aim button like you're a 13-year-old closing a Google tab that you definitely shouldn't be on. I was a 13-year-old boy once and I know exactly what you're doing, and it is disgusting. And boy, did it really not help with this level at all, because I still died over and over and over again. But eventually we make it up to Navarro and send him to the depths of the ocean for the second time, and unlock the Chartered Trophy.
Completed on crushing? Chartered, thank God. It should be crushing. Should be. Yes.
Okay, I feel a little bit better now.
And no one knows how far it goes.
It's now time for our Big Chungus playthrough. Not much really happened during it, but we were able to tick off a few trophies. The first being the Hangman trophy for killing 20 enemies while hanging. The second is the Steel Fist Expert trophy for killing 10 enemies in a row with a single punch. The third is the Survivor trophy for killing 75 enemies without dying. And finally, we also unlocked the Dynamite Master trophy for killing 3 enemies with 1 explosion 5 times. And we also checked off all of the speedrun trophies. The first being these walls can't stop me for being chapter 5 in 10 minutes. The second is Up a Short Creek Without a Paddle for beating chapter 12 in less than 5 minutes. The third is a Speedy Reunion for beating chapter 16 in less than 7 minutes. And finally, we also unlocked the YOLO Fortunately trophy for beating the last chapter without dying. All of these are really easy once you know what's coming at you and how to go about the levels. On top of that, I recommend only doing them on easy, as it will save you a massive headache.
Brutal.
Oh! No, Nate, please don't. No! Many don't even attempt it.
I see.
But I'm a man of the people, and I'm also a massive fan of glitches. That's right, Brutal Mode can't stop dear old Addrat here from using his new ability, wall clipping. I hear you type in your comments.
You can't do this.
You suck.
You're half the man that I'm robbers.
And to that, I say, yeah, I am. Although to be completely honest, I do feel a little bit scummy. However, if you have played the first Uncharted game on Brutal Mode, you will understand why I did this. You see, Uncharted Drakes Fortune came out in 2007, and they added Brutal Mode in 2015 with the release of the Uncharted Collection. And with that release, they also slapped these extra trophies onto it. Now, after playing Brutal Mode for about 5 minutes, you'll realize that there is zero way that anybody playtested this. Because if you even think about shooting your gun, you are already dead. So do I feel a little bit scummy? Yes. Am I justified? Probably not. Regardless of all that, there are still many areas where wall clipping is simply not possible. And the first area that made me want to seek out a little bit sooner is the small courtyard before we head to the fortress. Honestly, I died here so many times and I can't tell you how, when, or what did it.
No.
No way, you got me! That's ridiculous. Skipping ahead to my next favorite section, Chapter 7. This is also the chapter where I started to not feel bad about all of my wall clipping, because I died here a total of 13 times. No, too close. Oh, It's like a 3-minute chapter. And once you make it through this chapter, you're treated to being shot from above and also in front of you. I'm getting... Okay. I am just one man with very little patience, and it is being tested. Thankfully, once you're through this section and the first jet ski part, I can wall clip 4 massive fight moments that probably would have sent me straight to the Shadow Realm. But don't worry, because it's now time for the jet ski uphill 200-meter dash.
I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it.
And I frickin' aced this. Sure, I died a couple of times, but I was skilled, precise, and really sweaty. Oh my god. Like, genuinely, I was caked in sweat. But now we're through all of the on-rails moments, and I was feeling confident on the next chapters. And of course, we still died about 100 times, but I was still feeling good.
Yeah, I deserve to die there.
And then I wasn't, because we've reached Chapter 16. This chapter took years off of my life. Genuinely think it might have caused my first grey hairs. No, Nate, please don't, no! And you might be thinking, it can't get much worse, but you'd be wrong. Very wrong.
Are you shitting me?
Unbelievably wrong.
No way!
I don't even feel bad for this next section. So once we beat everyone in the courtyard area,
Yes!
we can either go into the church and die a further 1 billion times, or simply slide through the wall and through the table.
Yes. That is the best glitch in the entire game, because this church is just awful.
But here we are at the final stretch of the game.
Oh, you...
Of course, I already know how to skip a part of this level, but you can't actually skip all of it, so at the very end, you still have to fight Navarro. Now, on crushing this level is already difficult, but on brutal, it's even worse.
I'm sorry, what?
I think I need therapy. So the beauty of this level, and the reason I believe nobody playtested this game on brutal difficulty, is because once you go through the container dropping sequence and leave the quick time moment, you die almost every single time.
I can't, how am I gonna do this?
What the actual fuck? But eventually, through sheer grit, sweat, and a little bit of tears, we make it up to Navarro and lay down the smackdown of a lifetime. Triangle! Square!
Yes! Yes!
But of course we're not done yet, because there are still 2 trophies that we need to unlock. The first being the Grenade Hangman trophy for killing 10 enemies with grenades while hanging.
Yes, Grenade Hangman, that took no time at all. We only had to do it twice. Hell yes.
And the second and final trophy we needed was Master Ninja for killing 50 enemies from behind.
Ready? Yes, Master Ninja, and wait for it. Come on. Give me the platinum.
Yes, we did it. Oh god, there it is. Uncharted Drakes Fortune Remastered Platinum, and the 100% on both that and the extended collection, which is the brutal difficulty and all those horrible trophies. We have officially completed the first Uncharted game of what is, I think, 5. There's 5 more games. I have to play brutal 5 more times. I don't want to do that. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, remember to give it a like, subscribe, and since you're still here, why don't you click on another video? This one's just appeared and you should click it because this one's finishing and this one's new and fresh and you should watch it because it helps me with life.